Hi guys, today in this video I'm going to explain you about the selection tools in Photoshop. So I'm going to open a few images to work with this. Going to go to file and open, and you can simply click and open the image. If not, you can drag and drop images to the canvas as well. So I'm going to add these two images as well. So before you start working on the Photoshop, please go to Windows and go to Workspace and click on Reset Essentials to get the default layout loaded. So I'm going to rearrange the layout a little bit. So before I move it to the selection tools, I'm going to explain you a little bit about the Move tool. So Move tool is a very important tool in Photoshop. So the very first tool, the shortcut key is V. So simply I'm going to go to layers and just click on the padlock icon to get the image unlocked first. So once we have selected the Move tool, so in the option bar, so there's an option called Show Transform Controls. So once you click on that, you can see there are 8 anchor points have got applied to the image. So by using this, simply you can click and adjust the size of the image. So if you want to adjust the image in the same ratio, so just click and hold the shift in your keyboard and adjust the image. So the image gets adjusted in the same ratio. So once done, press enter to apply the changes. So I'm going to undo it. Simply in Photoshop, to undo the changes, you can press Ctrl Z. So Photoshop allows you to undo only once if you use Ctrl Z. If you want to undo the changes continuously, so you can undo it by using Alt Ctrl Z. So now I'm going to explain you about the selection tools in Photoshop. The first selection tools we have in Photoshop is Marquee Tool. So if you right click on the Marquee Tool, you can see the 4 other tools that is given under the Marquee Tool. So we have rectangular, elliptical Marquee Tool, and then we have single row Marquee Tool and single column Marquee Tool. So I'm going to work with rectangular Marquee Tool now. So once you select the rectangular Marquee Tool, it will give you a tool to make a selection on the image like this. Once a selection is made, you can just using the same tool, you can change the position of the selection by click and drag. You have to click and drag the selection if you want to change the selection of the image. So the main feature of this selection tool is, after making the selection, you can go to the Move tool and you can click and take that portion of the image. So just click and take that part of the image out. So it's like that you can crop and take that part out. So I'm going to undo it now. So now you can see the selection has been made on the image. So if you want to deselect this, you can simply press Ctrl D on your keyboard to deselect the selection. And I'm going to make one more selection on the image. So after making a selection, now in the option bar, there are 4 options given when you are making a selection. So the first option always stands as the new selection. It means that once you make any selection, so you make a selection like this, and when you try to make a new selection, it's going to be a new selection for you. So the second option is add to selection. Add to selection means you can keep the existing selection and you can add to the selection as well. So I'm going to select that and I'm going to add to this selection now like this. And the third one is going to be subtract from the selection, so you can remove the existing selection from it. So the fourth one is going to be simply when you select the fourth one, it's going to be like this is my first selection and I'm going to select only this part of the selection. So it will make only this part of the selection from the previous selection place. Like this. So this is the work that you can do with the rectangular marquee tool. And at the same time, so when you make any selection, you can simply copy and paste the selection using Ctrl C and Ctrl V. So when you copy and when you paste it under the layers, you can see the new selection is selected, and you have simply duplicated that selection to the new layer. I'm going to delete this in this case. So the next tool we have is the elliptical marquee tool. So this is a same tool, but in this case we have a circle. So if you want to select any part of the image using a circle, simply you can use this elliptical marquee tool to make a selection. I'm going to adjust this, and simply I'm going to copy and paste and take the move tool, and you can simply duplicate this, and I'm going to apply the free transform now. Once the selection is duplicated, you can do any changes with the new layer that you have pasted. So I'm going to delete that now. The third selection tool we have is single row marquee tool. So I'm going to zoom the image. So you can simply zoom the image in Photoshop using Alt and your scroller on your mouse. If not, you can simply press and hold the Control key on your keyboard, and then you press plus and minus to zoom in and zoom out the image. So once you zoom in, now you can see the pixels of the image. So now I have selected the single row marquee tool. So this is the tool that will make a selection horizontally. So when you click on the image, now you can see this has made a selection of 1 pixel line horizontally. I'm going to zoom out the image. You can see on the image, so it has made 1 pixel selection on this. And this tool simply gives the same option to select the line vertically. You can see that 1 pixel line is selected. So I'm going to move to the next tool now. The next selection tool we have in Photoshop is the Lasso Tool. So Lasso Tool is a tool where it gives the option for user to select to make free selection. So you can simply click and draw the selection around the object. So you have to drag the mouse and finish the selection from where you started to complete the selection. Now you can simply copy and paste this, and I'm going to take the move tool to duplicate this. I'm going to undo it, and I'm going to delete the layer now. And the very next tool we have in the Photoshop is the Polygonal Lasso Tool. So Polygonal Lasso Tool helps us to make a selection using anchor point. So simply you can, if you click on it, and it will create one anchor point, then you can, by clicking, you can create anchor points, and you can go on and make your selection, and you can zoom the image as well. So if the selection gone wrong, so simply you can use backspaces to delete the previous selection. Okay, so I'm going to move this selection out. If not, you can simply copy and paste this to duplicate this. So I'm going to delete it off, And the next tool, the next selection tool we have is the magnetic lasso tool. Magnetic lasso tool is more easier, depends on the image and the object that you want to crop in the Photoshop. So this will actually find the edges automatically for you and it will create the selection. You just have to click and take your mouse cursor around the edges of the image and it will automatically select you the edges of the image and make the selection. You can also click and make anchor points. So if the selection gone wrong, you can use the backspace here as well. Okay, now I have completed the selection using magnetic lasso tool. So here I can simply copy and paste this and take the move tool to move it. And you can see now the selection is simply duplicated. Going to delete this. So the next selection tool we have in Photoshop is quick selection tool. So I'm going to go to my next image. So here when you select the quick selection tool, so you can click and drag the mouse cursor to make the selection. It will automatically select the parts of the image for you. If the selection has gone out, so simply on the option bar you can use the third option, the subtract from selection option, and then you can deselect the portions that you don't want to select on the image. So when you are selecting the edges, you can also adjust the brush size of the selection tool, the quick selection tool. So I'm going to reduce it. The brush size can be adjusted. In keyboard, you have to use open bracket and close bracket key to make the brush bigger and smaller, to adjust the size of this. So I'm going to zoom the image now. So now you can see in this image, so I have selected the flower using the quick selection tool. I'm going to copy and paste here. I'm going to adjust the size of this image. And I'm going to put it here. So I'm going to delete the layer now. So now I will show you how you can use the Magic Wand tool in Photoshop. So the Magic Wand tool is a tool where it will make a selection using the similar colors in the image. So I'm going to just click once on the background, so you can see the entire portion of the background image, background color has got selected. So you can see this part has not got selected because this Magic Wand tool is making a selection of the image by using the similar colors in the image. So you can see the difference between this color and then this one. So I'm going to select at this part also to that selection. So at the same time, in the option bar you have an option called contiguous. So when you select the contiguous, so it's gonna make the same selection. So I'm going to go to this image now. So I'm going to untick this and I'm going to click on here. So you can see it has selected the similar colors in the entire image. So now I'm going to deselect it. So I'm going to select the contiguous option now. So now I'm going to select the same place again, but this time it's different. You can see now this time it has selected only the places where it has the similar colors around this area. So when you select the contiguous, it will select the similar color only in the area. So when you untick that option, it will try to select the color in the entire image. So that's how the Magic Wand tool works in the Photoshop. I hope this video was useful for you. Please like this video and comment down below if you have any questions in this, and please subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification to learn more interesting stuff on how to do it. Thank you guys.